So, the way I see it, there's three eras of collector boxes. You've got Eldraine to Commander Legends. And then you've got Kaldheim to March of the Machines. And then you've got Lord of the Rings till now. Now, the Eldraine to Commander Legends are the original collector boxes, and it was the beginning of this new phase of Magic the Gathering. And they haven't done as well as current boxes, which is Lord of the Rings till now, but they've certainly done better than Kaldheim to March of the Machines. And I'm just wondering which of these are undervalued at this point because there isn't enough attention on it, or people haven't been thinking about this, or are people quietly in the background buying these boxes up. I think that the original ones, they were trying to determine print runs, and they were doing okay with them. And then, of course, it's in the middle of the pandemic, and there's lots of issues, and there's no serialized cards, and they had special treatment cards, but didn't have the surge foils and the neon ink and that kind of stuff at that point. It's just lots of foils and lots of rares and mythics, and they're quite good. Just, I think, in addition to making, overprinting maybe into the hype, into the exuberance of what happened in the 2020 to 2021 period, they kind of overprinted a little bit, but I don't think too much. I think that what really may have held them back was how many sets they started to pump out. It was like they just ramped up production in all areas, the number of SKUs for every set, the number of sets per year, and then just the print numbers. So I think people got exhausted during that period. And then, of course, the next period, which starts with Kaldheim and moves to March of the Machines, which is a longer period. There's much higher print runs, even more SKUs, a little bit more sets per year, and it's just set after set after set. No one can, catch up with what's going on. And then, of course, there's Amazon dumps because of, I don't know whether it's a full-blown recession or a mini recession, or just what was going on in the market from 2020, mid 2021 until close to the end of 2023. People just had, just a lot of fear about what was going to happen in the future, and also less prospects, and there was less cash floating around and less funds moving back and forth. And of course, the crypto market did crash. So, and of course, the S&P and other markets, but mostly the crypto markets did terribly, and people lost their asses in it. So that period joined to the first period the problems that had already set in, that they had created in the initial period. And then you throw in a bad market and things got bad. And then they had to, pivot and change things. And then Lord of the Rings comes out and it does well. And then Eldraine and Commander Masters did poorly. Eldraine did okay. Ixalan started to do well. And then the market turned, the entire global market turned, things started to do well. And the money was found to buy these new collector boxes. And the print runs were down. And they had sort of reduced the number of SKUs, but mostly reduced how quickly sets came out. So now that instead of having every 3 weeks to a month to 6 weeks to deal with a new set coming out to move that product, now it's anywhere from a month to 2 months, and there's more breathing room to deal with these sets and to let people enjoy them, but also to get enough product and move enough product and have enough cash flow available for the next set that wasn't available in the previous thing. And then, of course, as I said, the lower print numbers, and they seem to have figured it out. You could see that with Ravnica Remastered. And while the set itself didn't do well, people realized that there was very few collector boxes out there, and they started to do okay. And then by the end of the year, Foundations just kind of surprised everybody that these collector boxes disappeared immediately, and they're nowhere to be found now. And then, of course, we've got Tarkir, which blew things out of the water, and people were not expecting what happened with Tarkir. Now, Final Fantasy is going to come out, and already it's turning into something akin to a Pokemon set in the hype. So, these three eras have different things going on in them, but they kind of affect each other. The first era, where they're ramping up production and SKUs, and they're maybe overproducing a little bit, but also putting up too many sets. And then the middle era, from Kaldheim to March of the Machines, they really went out of control and they did way too much. And then the global market was terrible, and their customer base didn't want to spend money. So they had, basically Amazon dumps and, getting rid of product and so much stuff sitting still at distributors from that era. And then they finally started to figure stuff out when Lord of the Rings came out. And then by the time Holiday Lord of the Rings came out, they had really, shortened the production, and they, by, the end of December and early January, it was clear by their roadmap for 2025 that they were also lengthening the period in between sets to give people breathing room. And all of that has done quite well, which is why these new era of collector boosters, starting from Lord of the Rings till now, have done so much better. And the sets themselves have done so much better. But are the older eras, the first one and the second one, are they undervalued because people have, a price memory, but also, a memory of what was going on in that period, and, memory of Amazon dumps, memory of sets failing, memories of, spending this on that, and then, a week later, it's 20% less than what you spent on it. And will they recover in this year, or will it take another few years, 5 years, 10 years for those things to recover? I'm just wondering, are they undervalued, or are they valued at what they need to be valued at right now? Is the market right? Is the market wrong? That's what I'm wondering. Let me know what you think about these three eras and where they are in the market, and whether the market is right or wrong about them. Maybe individually, maybe just as a group. Anyway, let me know what you think.